Hi, I'm Becky from Homeless United for Friendship and Freedom. And when President Dwight D. Eisenhower left office in 1961, he warned of beware of the military-industrial complex. Today, it's beware of the prison-industrial complex. For prisons today have become big business in a country where manufacturing generally is suffering and unemployment rates are high. Santa Cruz County is no exception. For a jail to be profitable, it must be full. Never mind that it's paid for with taxpayer dollars. Our electeds and appointeds don't care. For them, it is job security program for police, judges, bailiffs, deputies, file clerks, probation officers, and attorneys.
Boo. Shame.
Fuck that.
I myself have been fodder for this system with my criminal career.
Mine too, sister.
I'm a convicted sidewalk hopscotch chalker. A criminal songster. And in the case of the Santa Cruz 11, a suspected sign holder and blogger.
Shame.
What I want to talk to you about today is the criminalization of homelessness. Currently, in liberal, progressive Santa Cruz, it is illegal to sit on a sidewalk less than 14 feet from a building. It's illegal to sit on a park bench with your feet up. The sleeping ban, Municipal Code 6.36.010, Section A, outlaws the act of sleeping anywhere out of doors or in a vehicle between the hours of 11 p.m. and 8:30 a.m. anywhere within the city limits. A separate provision outlaws the use of a blanket between 11 p.m. and 8:30 a.m. out of doors. Now there's an exception if you're in a vehicle, but remember, middle-class people might want to use their blanket when they're in a vehicle late at night. Hacky-sacking, hopscotching, and tossing your car keys to your husband are illegal acts on Pacific Avenue, the shopping mecca where all the city council members' friends have stores.
They do.
Let me tell you about Gary Johnson, a homeless man and an activist. Gary was arrested 4 times within 3 days for being on the county property in front of the courthouse with a sign after 7 p.m. He was charged with trespassing. When he pointed out that since he had a sign, which by the way said, "A Legacy of Cruelty, MC 6.36010A, PC 647E," the sign, they said that the trespassing code, there was an exception for traditional public forums. So the DA turned around and charged him with misdemeanor illegal lodging.
What?
He was sentenced to 2 years in jail for these 4 acts of sleeping. Recently, he lost his appeal of this sentence before Judges Simons and Burdick. What homeless person could pay a fine of $162 for sleeping in a cardboard box? None of them. And the authorities know this. But they can bill you and me for the salary of the police officer who cited or arrested them. They bill for the time the officer spends in court. They bill for any public defender, but with most infraction crimes, the person charged has no right to one. This jail is full of homeless people. There are people right now in there for smoking a cigarette out of doors. And many of the people who were marginally housed when they were arrested will be homeless upon their release. The drug war fuels many of these arrests. So do mandatory minimums and the 3 strikes law. But we could cut down on a huge amount of local incarceration if we repealed a whole host of laws, which frankly are selectively enforced against the poor and homeless people. When I spent the night here in G-Dorm, G-Dorm, you ladies, I love you. I met women who should not have been there. There was one woman who was so mentally challenged that the other inmates had to tell her to put on her underwear. One mother of 4 with chronic intractable pain from a car accident was jailed for the crime of supplementing her inadequate pain relief with heroin. In jail, despite a known diagnosis of chronic intractable pain due to a past injury, for which she had been treated with addictive pain medications, she was forced to quit cold turkey. Her only relief were hot showers. One day, in serious pain, she was pulled from an unauthorized shower, dripping wet, and thrown into an icy holding cell. While in there, she watched as deputies watched prison porn on their monitors, where women prisoners were tormented and sexually abused. Another woman was serving 3 months of a 6-month sentence for assault, when she herself was assaulted by 3 women in Jade Street Park after hours. The women beat her over the head with a frying pan. She showed me the scar on her head, right on the top. They stole her laptop computer. As they fled the park, she called 911 on her cell phone. Police and an ambulance arrived, and while the 3 women were still in the area, Terry, the only injured person, was sent to the hospital. She was arrested in the emergency ward. The 3 women had convinced the police that Terry had attacked them. When, by pure chance, her brother's roommate was able to buy her laptop back, the smoking gun, the DA ignored it. Since she was still charged with felony assault, Terry was forced to plead no contest to a misdemeanor. Judge Ariadne Simons okayed that one. Let me finish with one here. When shooting suspect Jeremy Goulet was arrested for breaking into his female co-worker's home and sexually assaulting her in her own bed, his bail was set at $250. In the case of Kenneth Massey, the man who was falsely arrested for stealing flowers from the memorial for the 2 slain police officers, bail was set at $5,000. He was forced to spend 18 days in jail here until his attorney showed the receipt for the flowers that he had in his possession at the time he was jailed. Let's remember Isaac Collins, the only person charged and at the 420 event last year. Of all the lawbreakers there, he was the only one arrested, jailed, and sentenced. He just had to cop a plea last week. He's black and homeless. So in conclusion, we need to end the drug war.
Yes.
Woo!
End the war on the poor. End mandatory minimums. End 3 strikes. Repeal the sleeping ban, the blanket ban, and laws which were written and are enforced specifically to be used against homeless people. Justice demands that we don't stop until this work is done.
Tell him, Becky.